What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition where we give excellent assessment and reviews. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing The Witch. Now, The Witch, a 2015 horror film directed by Robert Eggers, and the film follows this Puritan family who ends up moving into the woods and end up encountering evil forces. Now, this film got a lot of hype, and I was really interested and really hyped to see this film. And for the most part, the film did deliver. Now, there are some issues, and I'm definitely going to talk about it, so let's go ahead and just jump on this review. The film ends up following this Puritan family that ends up getting banished from this colony, so now they have to go out there into the wilderness and make their own. And as they're out there and they get themselves established, these weird events start kind of happening, and you can't really tell if it's, well, these weird events just start happening. In terms of the performances, though, the performances were actually pretty good. This chick right here, the main girl, was actually pretty cool, and it's kind of messed up watching how she has to deal with these events that's going on in the family, thinking she's a witch, and it's like, oh my gosh. So in terms of performances, she was pretty good. Her father was pretty good, and I really like the dialogue because I really like the way that they have the old New England type of wording with thus, thou, this, and that, and all of that good stuff. And that for the most part, the writing, when it comes to the dialogue, was pretty good. They was on point, it was solid, and it flowed smoothly. And I have to definitely give it to Eggers. He did a great job directing this film. It just looks, it just has a really gritty, like plain, wonderful, like New England pilgrim type look to it. It just looks beautiful from the way things are shot. Either it's the forest or it's just the family in the house, and just the way when family members are just sitting across from each other, when they're even talking to each other, the way the camera is actually focused on them is done pretty cool, and I have to give it to him. He did a great job with that. And another thing about the film that was great was the tension. It was a lot of great suspenseful moments that just kept building and building, and that's one thing that this film did a great job of. Not only does it visually look good, but the visual effects actually do kind of help build it to the tension, whereas the story fills in the other half of that. And when it comes to the tension, it does have a very suspenseful atmosphere, which when characters are sitting here going at it with one another, you can actually feel this very claustrophobic, but at the same time expansive tension in this feeling. And it, for the most part, is done really well. So in terms of the story, just building this tension with the environment and the way it looked was actually pretty good. I have to give it to the film. Now, one of the things that I had with the film, because I do review movies, so I sit there and I tend to analyze things, and I have to admit, there was a lot of moments in this film that I was like, what the hell am I even watching? I think the one thing they had with the film was they were trying to go for one thing, but they were trying to do it two different ways. It's like the film has established that there is a witch that's actually just kind of haunting his family. And even though the film kind of supports that, it kind of doesn't support that. So the entire time you're trying to figure out, is it the witch doing this thing, or is this another character that's doing this thing? But at the same time, the movie kind of supports both of them. So it's like, which one are you going for? Are you going for this person potentially being a witch, or are you going for this witch actually mess with this family? And I think the film should have either played with either or, not both, and that's what kind of threw things off. Also, things did happen that were not explained. Like, there's one quite disturbing part at the beginning of the film that happens, and you just don't, it's just like a quick shot of it, and you don't, there's really nothing else, so you don't know what was the purpose of them doing that. And there's another sequence too where a character ends up getting into this situation, and you don't really understand why they're in that situation, what happened when they was in that situation, and what was the real outcome of it. So he's like, why did that happen? And also, when it comes to the ending was definitely one of those WTF moments where you're like, okay, that just came completely out of left field. Now, I do admit that it was a pretty good twist, and I really did like that, but it was really left field, and the film did not feel like it actually supported it. So, in the end, The Witch is actually a pretty good film, even though I could understand how people would not get it because of the way the story flowed and the ending and everything. But I have to just give it to her, you know, despite the fact that the story, in my opinion, supported two different ideologies that just did not mishmash in the right way that they could have. The performances definitely were hands down great. The dialogue, the characters were great. The visual effects were great. The score was actually decent. The director did a great job with this film. I definitely have to give The Witch a 4 out of 5. But this is definitely one of those movies you have to kind of look deeper. And as I said, those two plot points, I wish they could have probably separated them. The film would have benefited a hell of a lot better had there not been introduction to a witch actually haunting his family, and actually had the audience with the main family trying to figure out if it's actually a witch or not. So anyway guys, in the comment section below, tell me what you thought about The Witch. Did you like it? Did you agree with any of my points? Did you not like it? And what do you think they could have done better when it comes to the story? And to the next edition guys, and remember, keep those gears turning. Bam!